Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Taylor Wilde. Welcome back to Wilde On Season 4, the podcast where you get the insider's view of the weird, wonderful, wild world of wrestling. On Wednesdays, today's guest is helping us and bringing the celebration of Pride Month. Yes, June is Pride Month. And we're celebrating with the Wilde On team, of course. She's colorfully painted with tattoos, pink hair, and she's deemed the Allie Katch of independent professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, Allie Katch. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Of course. Happy Pride Month.
Oh, thank you.
This is your month.
It's my time to shine. Let's go.
So, we've come so far in the world, and I know you work with Effie a lot, and I die for those t-shirts, like Make Wrestling Gay, and there's honestly, let's be realistic, there is nothing more homosexual than professional wrestling.
Right. Like he was in the airport the other day talking about how there was a legitimate collegiate wrestling team waiting to get on a flight.
Yeah.
As he's walking around in the Wrestling is Gay shirt. It was great.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall or had a video going, just the most masculine jockey type guys. And it's guys, so homoerotic. You literally sweat and roll around on each other. It's
exactly come into my guard. Whoa. Whoa.
Yo, keep your guard to yourself, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
So what does Pride Month mean for you?
I was kind of lucky in that I grew up in both my parents were very accepting and tolerant of stuff. So I never felt scared or really I never felt like I came out.
Oh.
I just felt like I was always honest about who I was.
That's really interesting.
I never had to sit down with my family and be hey, I just casually was talking about something one day and it was just the truck kept on rolling and I was okay, cool, whatever. That's what I grew up in. So Pride Month for me is it's more about other people and trying to help make sure everybody else can be as comfortable as I'm able to be. And I have the privilege to do that.
Like you said, it's we've come so far in the world, and it sounds like you had a really gentle, organic, you didn't even really come out as much as it was a conversation, which is that's really where we should be. So what have you done in your experience, or do you use your social media platform? Where do you feel like you are able to do your most for other people?
The last few years I've done merch drops and then donated the money to places that I places that I've researched and made sure were reputable. I've tried to help highlight other people and make sure other eyes get on the talent Effie does with Big Gay Brunch.
Yeah. Just
if you ever see a Bussy line, it's always filled with new fans, casual fans, and people I've had fans come out to me and be yeah, and it's wild, and I'm very grateful that I can do that and be that person. So exactly. And so I've had people be I haven't told anybody yet, but you and Effie make me feel comfortable and make me feel safe and seen, and I'm thank you, I'm so happy for you. So that's what I'm able to tiny do for people.
Because I always say professional wrestling is a family of misfits, and that comes from so many different things, be it sexuality or culture or religion, or I believe in the universe and spirit and witchcraft, but we're all bonded by the sport, and we've never met in person, but already I'm oh, we get each other. There's a commonality here. But the fact that we have the power, these misfits in our community, to even make the fans feel as comfortable as they can to come out to you. It's not just other wrestlers, it's fans. That's so beautiful.
You go to a baseball game and you love whoever's on the team, and you love your football players and stuff, but they don't turn around and yell at you or talk to you during the game. And,
that's true.
you also don't like go up to them afterwards and buy like a jersey from them. You buy it from like whoever. So like we have like these cool bonds that we get to make with fans that it's very cool.
That's, you know what, I don't know why I just didn't think about that, but our relationships are so much more intimate. And maybe that's why our fans are so much more fanatical.
Yes, for sure.
And there would be no show if there was no fans. So we have to interact with them.
Yeah, I'm not going back to no fan shows. We're not going back.
Oh, well, so, you know, I'd retired for 10 years and then I decided to come back during the pandemic. You know, to go back to Impact and be in a TV setting was weird in itself because it'd been 10 years, but I was like, and there's no fans.
It is so, and it's like, yeah, like I saw your vignettes and it's like, it's one thing, like people online were so stoked for you and they were like, yay. And so you were like, yay. But then there's no yay in person. So just like, it gets sucked out.
Totally. It was like, hey.
Okay, cool. My adrenaline is gone.
But that's okay. I'm on my way back again. You know, I just had to roll with
There
the
we go.
punches of this year and, you know, life happens and the universe puts you exactly where you're supposed to be. So
Exactly.
I know this is a wrestling podcast, but the part that's wrestling is that you wrestle and I wrestle and then we talk about whatever the fuck we want to. So I saw the like passion grow when I mentioned witchcraft. Tell me about your relationship with all that stuff.
Oh my gosh. The last like 2 years, I like started reading way more. I read a lot, but it was always fiction. And then I
Okay.
started reading nonfiction. I read The Power of Now, Radical Acceptance, like all those things. And I got because I was never religious growing up.
Yep.
Nobody like really fed it to me in a way that was like good or not. I didn't like it. And then I read this stuff and I said, yes, I've always felt like there was like, and I believe, you know, Newton's law, energy is exchanged, can't
Yeah.
create, destroy. So when I like was put in perspective, like the universe and things are happening and, you know, good comes to those who, if you make it, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I totally believe. I like write 10 things I'm grateful for every day now. I journal. Like I just got my first crystal in the mail.
Yay!
Oh,
What
and
was
she's
it?
pretty.
What was
It
it?
was a rose quartz, obviously. Had to.
Obviously.
We need to bring some love into my life, self-love. So I sleep
Oh.
like next to it. I feel like I'm so much happier and more positive because there's like something for me to like fixate and grow and like heal with.
And the learning is endless.
Yes.
The amount of
Well,
like literature out there or, you know, even just online and the communities, it's ever growing and it's abundant.
and it is like it has helped in wrestling so much because it used to be like you read something so mean about yourself and it would like it would ruin my day. And then I started being like, that is a projection of them and that is something wrong with them and not me. And so like it's still like obviously there's still days where I'm like, yeah, I suck, okay, like yeah, look. But for the most part, people like are like, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this. I'm like, are you sure? Or is something going on with you? So, thankfully, like I'm thinking like that now.
Good, good. And it's so hard when you're in this very public, like it's more than just being like a celebrity and being public because us wrestlers, we need to interact with the fans and Twitter and Instagram and all social media. We, you know, for the most part, we read the comments because we take that at face value to some extent because we want to grow, we want to improve. But you really hit the nail on the head with the projection. And on top of that, you're never going to get angry and you're never going to be offended about something you don't already feel about yourself. So
Yes.
if someone says that to you and that stings, that's because that part of you isn't healed yet.
Yes. So we're all mirrors. And so I'm getting a lot reflected to me all the time. But now I feel like I have like the tools to work it out instead of just like
Good.
being
Good.
upset.
And it is totally projection because if someone's happy with themselves, they're not going to be spreading that kind of hate. Like no.
I have never woken up and been like, you know what I should do today? I should tell this person when I don't like it. Like, who does that?
I'm
What
gonna
are you doing with your
fuck
time?
somebody's day right up.
Yeah, like, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
No.
But you know what? I'm all for spirituality and I'm all for shadow work and witchcraft. But what I will say is Cat Williams is also one of my idols. And he said, haters have one job, and that is to hate. Love you or hate you, they're still talking about you. So thank you very fucking much.
Exactly. Well said. Yes, very true.
So I'm like half love and light and shadow work. And I'm also half Cat Williams.
We need balance. We need balance.
So what brought you into wrestling? Like, were you a fan? Was it, all the stars aligned and someone introduced you to the sport? What was it?
I was a fan, like as a kid growing up, like Attitude Era. So like who wasn't?
Nice.
And then I kind of like fell off because I moved and I didn't have like that friend I was watching wrestling with
Okay.
anymore. And then I was dating somebody in college and I got like sucked right back into it and like was watching what was on TV. I was catching up on what happened while I wasn't watching. And I just
Yep.
like surpassed him as a fan
Oh.
and was just like, yeah, I'm out of here. I love wrestling. And then the stars aligned, and I was dating like somebody else, and they worked with somebody who was also at like a wrestling school. And I said, "There's one near us.
Wow.
That's okay." And so I went and I checked it out, and I just got my tax return.
Nice.
So
Helps
boom,
massively.
dropped it right then and there and started training.
Good for you. So the universe brought you that money so you could start training. That's what it was.
Legitimately, it was like all right there, and I like did the first month. I think I paid for like 3 months up front, so I couldn't back out.
Good for
So I
you. That was
so I had to
smart.
like make myself because I kind of will have like a problem where like if I'm like not good at something,
Mm.
I'll want to quit and leave. And I was like, no, this like just really try.
I'm like that too. And I struggle because I'm naturally pretty athletically inclined. So if there's something I can't do off the hop, I'm like, fuck.
Exactly. I'm like, you know what? Fine. Like that's what the other thing I'm trying now is I'm like, let's revisit stuff that you told
Mm.
yourself you would never do. Like dives. I was like, I'll never do one. And now I've done some. So
So I had never done a dive my whole career because I also came from the era where, like, of course, it's not an era thing, less is more, but I was like, why am I going to kill myself when you got
right.
to remember the era I was in? Like, I had Awesome Kong, I had a lot of really incredible workers, but there weren't a lot of people that I could dive on because
Yeah.
I had to protect myself. So the first time I did a dive was when I came back and it was on Caleb. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to practice it. If I can visualize it, I can do it. If I'm going to die, I'd rather die on
Yes.
TV
Exactly. Like make it count. Here we go.
because I got to make that money. If I'm going to go for it and it's going to fail, you know what? I'll take the YouTube hits. It's fine.
Just do the Lita dive where you just
Yeah.
scorpion. Like worth it.
Oh,
It's fine.
you know what? You said that and it replayed in my head because that's like, bless her. Like, I'm not gonna, okay, shade, no shade, whatever. Lita had her era, okay? She was very
Right.
important, but as a wrestler, not so great. I mean, like, in terms of her actual execution, if I wanted to talk about like textbook movements, it wouldn't be Lita. But balls to the wall, homegirl went for it every time.
Every
So no
exactly.
shade, no shade. But like, people don't model yourself after her technique. I would just say that.
That's like seeing stuff like that and like other things. That's why I was like, oh, she did. I'm gonna. You, if she, I
Yeah,
can't do it. Then
I know.
like
I know.
what?
And like, I'm not like, girl does yoga because like if I scorpion like that, I'd be going to the hospital. That's no, no, no.
Right. It's a big thing.
Those, yeah, this is not cute. Like, I don't want one of these for the next 10 years. Yeah. So there was a point in your career though, probably pre-pandemic, where you were thinking about that's it, like hanging up the boots and focusing more academically. So what changed for you?
So I had like moved and up like rooted my life from Texas, and I moved to the Midwest, and then I moved to New York, and then it was
Wow,
all
you're
kind of like
all over the
pulled
place.
out. Yeah, I was going. I was like, I want to be a wrestler and I want to travel and do this, blah blah.
Yeah.
And then that home situation kind of got like the rug was pulled, and I didn't really
Mm.
have anything to my all my stuff could fit in my car, and so I didn't have anything. I didn't have anybody, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, what have I done? I should cut my losses and leave. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Sure.
So I was really sad, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave and go back to the real world. And then like I had like a string of matches like that month, and everybody, like, the matches were good and all the fans were so nice, and I was like living out of my car, so I was like actually seeing more of like the country instead of just going like in and out to shows.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so this is what it's about. Now that I'm like focusing on me and having fun in wrestling, it's happening. So maybe I shouldn't leave.
How long were you living out of your car then?
3 months.
So you were essentially, well, you were homeless. You had a car,
Yeah.
that counts, but that's not a home. So, oh man.
It was a learning experience. And I mean, there were like a lot of couches that I got to sleep on. There was only maybe like 25% of the time I actually slept in my car. I would have a room, whatever. But I got to do whatever I wanted because I didn't have like a job. Because like when I was living there, I didn't have a job. So homeless, I don't have a job. Do you want to go to Ohio today? I'll go to Ohio today. You want to go? I can just go to New York. I can go to Pittsburgh. I can go wherever I want now.
So what did you really take out of that situation? Like more than just wrestling, that must have been quite a hard reset. Like you were without a home, you were without kind of probably like focus, like you were totally derailed. So how did you stay above water?
I definitely realized that like I like structure is great, but sometimes like you need a little bit to like to shake you up.
Mm-hmm.
And so because like I was always like, oh, I can't do this because of money, or oh, it was always like I can't. I was coming from lack, things like that. And this was
Mm-hmm.
like even before I really learned about all that stuff, that I was like, just do it. Like, just go have fun. Like, go to the after party or go to the monument in
Yeah.
this city. Like, what are you like what is there to gain from not doing it? And what is there to gain from doing it? That's really, I started to really harp on like experiences instead of like things because I was homeless. Like, my car was like filled with stuff. It was my books, like my records, like clothes,
Yeah.
but there's no room to put it in. There's no way to enjoy them. So I was just enjoying like, going out to a nice restaurant or going to see a cool thing in a city or things like that. And I've never really done that. I was always like, save your money, stay inside.
That lack
So
mindset, like you touched
it,
on.
yes. So I really enjoyed that. And now that I'm not homeless, I still try to do that and like go see and do stuff.
Good. Abundance is such a mindset. It has nothing to do with things. Like it's nice to have nice things. And if nice things motivate you to continue that journey to more
Right.
abundance, then that's great. But really, if it's all in here, and that's the greatest lesson I've learned with spirituality is like, you're not going to find happiness in a relationship. You're not going to find happiness in a job. You're not going to find happiness in a certain amount of money. All those things are really nice. But if it's not in here and it's not here, you can search forever. And that's like a pattern I've really had to break.
Yes. Same. Lots of dating yourself. It's
Yes.
great.
It's funny because so the first time in my life, I skipped over dating apps because I was married twice. And during those two marriages, and in between, that's when like dating apps really took off. So now I'm looking at dating apps for the first time in my whole life, and I'm 36, and I feel like I just came out of a cave, and I'm like, what the fuck is this world?
Bleak is bleak. I don't even want to. I can't remember last time I like touched one. It was probably like 3 years ago. Is when I really
Okay.
like still looked at one, and I just was like,
I honestly just looked at it for the education because I'm like, well, I have a podcast. I'm supposed to be relevant. And so I like downloaded them all. And I was like, okay, so Tinder is the Walmart of people. That one I figured out really quick.
or no, like Facebook dating is like the Walmart.
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard that one is even worse.
Oh, wait. So Facebook itself has a dating thing, not just like finding some.
Yes.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't go
Because
to that one.
no, because Facebook in itself is like, that's just where you see what people in high school are doing, or like, your grandma has Facebook now.
Exactly. Facebook dating is probably like the Craigslist, and then Tinder's the Walmart. Yeah. It's bad.
Like, no hate on Walmart. I love me some Walmart, but like,
Right.
how did you break out of the online dating world? Did you just put yourself out there? Like, teach me the things. I don't know things anymore.
Well, unfortunately, it's because I just dated other wrestlers.
Oh, hey. Okay.
Sadly.
Let's talk about that then, because
Well,
that's
you know.
changed massively. Like, that used to be like career suicide, or so they framed it, career suicide towards women. Yet
Yeah.
guys could do all the dating and wrestling and you're fine. But as a woman, you'd be fucked. So do you find that that's changed now? Or would you say,
I think it's changed. Well, it's like, because I never had to experience that. So I
mm,
hope that it's changed. But also with my boyfriends that I've had, I've always been like, hey, just so you know,
yeah.
respect me and make sure other people respect me. Don't get me booked just because I'm your girlfriend. Like that was always
Mm-hmm.
like a big fight I had with one of my exes, because he'd be like, I just want to help you and I want to see you succeed. And my pride in my head was always like, I know, but I have to do it.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. So speaking about like emotions and, good and bad feelings, has professional wrestling ever made you cry, whether it was good or bad?
Both, all the time. All the time.
Anything stick out in your mind?
If I have like what I feel like is like not a good match, I will probably like cry about it because
Oh,
I'm like disappointed in myself, because like I want to do good. I have to do good. I have to be good at it. And then I've like definitely happy cried, like hearing like what fans have to say, or
mm,
just like I've made legitimate friends here. And so like I like my roommate, he was a wrestler and now he's getting married. He's getting a house and getting married. And I was like, and that's why I moved to New Jersey, because I was like, have your house with your wife, dude. I'm so happy for you.
oh. I know wrestling brings out the best and the worst in us, and I think, like I said, when you're down that spirituality journey, you take each one of those moments, and you're like, okay, what's the lesson here? And it sounds like
Yes.
that's where you're at with it all.
Every single thing now. I'm like, okay, what do I have to do to make sure either A, I do not repeat this lesson, or B, this continues to happen to me?
Yeah, sure. Where do you draw inspiration from outside of wrestling? Like who are some of your motivating factors if it comes to personality you pursue in the ring, or like fashion or music, anything?
Lady Gaga. Oh my God.
Good one.
She is my everything. Oh my God. Legit. Like the last
Really?
like two big pieces of gear I've done, I wear
Yeah.
like Lady Gaga.
Have you seen her in concert?
4 times. Um, and then I'm gonna go see her in August with Effie.
Oh, please take a little bit of a video for me of you
Oh my
guys
God.
with like just with Lady Gaga in the background, or even just some eruption. I feel like that. Oh, ooh, that's a great date.
I cannot wait. It's gonna be me, Effie, and Effie's boyfriend. And I know Effie like enjoys Lady Gaga as a casual fan.
Okay,
So
as a good
he'll probably
gay.
be like, yes. Like he's like, yes, I know the songs, whatever. But
Yeah.
like me and his boyfriend AJ are just like, you don't understand. Like you don't get it. Every Chromatica, it is a planet. Like we are about to be transported to a whole other world. What do you not understand,
Yeah.
Effie?
It's a religious experience. Catch up.
Literally, like I've every time I've seen her, I had floor seats. Like I did,
Oh my
like
God.
almost had like a little tiff, because I was like, guys, these are not pit tickets. What's going on? Why did we not get pit? Like, and they're like, Allison, they're very close seats. I go, are they? Because I do
Define
not settle.
close.
I do not
Well,
settle. Okay.
a little story for you. It was like, ooh, 2006, I want to say, maybe even 2005. And Lady Gaga had just dropped her first single, and she wasn't big yet. Like, was it Poker Face? No, Just Dance. Sorry, excuse me, Just
Just
Dance.
dance.
This was even when she was like curvier, and she was just doing small bar gigs in Toronto. And I was there with three of my girlfriends, and there must have been 40 people in the bar. Like she was no one yet. And Homegirl got so loaded before the show that she passed out before her set, like on stage. Like she came out and she was like, I'm Lady Gaga or whatever. And then Passed out. They took her backstage, slapped her a few times, a little bit of water, and she did her whole set. And I was like, that is fucking rock and roll. Yes,
She's
Lady Gaga.
literally a rock star. Like
She really is.
Amazing.
Have you seen her documentary on Netflix?
I cried. Oh my God. Like, oh, she's like, I do the movie, I lose Taylor. I was like, please stop. Please stop. And then, because I remember when like she was hurt and she had to get surgery and she was in the wheelchair, and like it was just very like a nice peek inside. Like already I was obsessed with her and like had on the internet, knew everything about her, but that I was like, oh baby, no.
She's a real sensitive soul under all of that.
I'm trying to think. End of March. She's not a Pisces anymore, then, is she?
End of March. Aries is...
So maybe she's Aries, but with like a Pisces cusp, maybe.
That would make sense because she's crazy, but she seems to be more grounded. Look at us, just fucking...
We'll figure her out.
We know Lady Gaga. We've got your number. So you love the Attitude Era. Who were some of your inspirations from the Attitude Era? Because we're talking about Lady Gaga, so that's I got your number now, girl. I got you. But who inspired you from that era?
It was definitely Team Extreme and like Dudley Boys.
Oh
and,
my
like,
God, really?
I don't know. I like love tag teams. Maybe it was just like I watched wrestling with like my best friend like at the time.
Yeah.
So like it was always like we pretended like we were a tag team. So like we loved watching them, and like we were in love with the Hardy Boys. Like we had like the beaded necklace, and
I had such a crush on Jeff Hardy for a really long time.
Who didn't? He's
a beautiful man. Crazy. He's too crazy.
Of course. But that is the appeal. Like we're like, oh, he's so bad. Oh, I could change him.
Girl, that is my life story. And that's where this is where the patterns stop. Because I'm like, you are beautiful and broken. Yes.
Yep. And you're going to stay that way until you get glued up. Goodbye. Yeah, I'm staying away now.
Yeah. Goodbye. Now I realize that people are who they are. Like, you can change here or there, but like for the most part, if you're not going to really do the work, people are who they are. And
somebody told me, they said you meet people where they are, and they either are where, and I was like, oh, you just changed my whole perspective. Oh my God. And
I read a quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was something to the extent of like, stop trying to fix people who are broken when you didn't break them. And I was like, oh, say less. I get it. But I feel like we could probably do a whole podcast episode on just that. But
yes.
Okay, let's do my 10 tailor-made questions. It's a little bit of a speed round, but I don't want you to rush. I want all your goodness. Give me all your answers. Okay, name one beauty product you cannot live without.
My NYX eyebrow thing. Because I'm a natural blonde.
Are you really?
I'm natural blonde. She ain't got no eyebrows up here. Let me tell you.
Same. And thanks to the 90s and Pamela Anderson and Gwen Stefani, I was like, just like 6 hairs on each side. I was really surprised. Give me that look. And then microblading took all my money. And NYX pencils. Yep. What is your favorite exercise?
I like shoulder day. So like I don't know why I feel like a boss when I do shoulders. It's like a shoulder press, and I look in the mirror, I'm like,
I'm also like, let's make the shoulders real big so everything else looks smaller. So I don't have to worry about this so much. I'm just like, well, if they're big, then I'll look tapered, obviously.
I'm Jordan Grace, whatever.
She looks fucking insane. Like
her body transformation. She already was in amazing shape. She's already like so strong. And then like, boom. What?
I know. She's amazing. I love her. Shout out Jordan Grace. We love your body. We love your body. What is your pet peeve or pet peeves?
When I definitely asked you to do something and or I said something, when I have to repeat myself, I legit hate having to repeat myself when they're like, what? And I'm like, I literally told you I was going there today. Why are you acting surprised?
Because they're not fucking listening.
Yeah.
Not audio. Audio, they're fine, but like it just didn't go.
Did not stick, did not comprehend.
Yeah. You weren't heard.
I need to be seen and heard.
I see you. I hear you. I affirm you. Good. Okay. Celebrity crush.
I mean, Lady Gaga, but that's
I like
that's
it.
an easy one.
I feel like I'm asking you this question, then the next one we'll skip ahead because we can go with Lady Gaga. But favorite band or artist?
Lady Gaga.
Obviously. Okay. We're all about Lady Gaga today.
She hits the top every time.
Do you have a secret vice like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
I was that, and now I'm trying to think of what my vice might be.
Are you no longer
cut down on
drinking?
I'm like still drinking. Oh,
Yeah.
my vice is definitely a coffee. I'm like the coffee like the don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Like anytime you can ask Effie when we travel, if
Yeah.
like we land at the same time, I'm like, okay, but we have to go get something. Or if we're
That's
like in
me.
a car, I'm like, can we stop to go get one? And it's not even like I'm tired. I just need to taste it. Like I need the
Oh,
taste.
interesting. So it's
I
almost
don't know.
placebo. Like you're like, I need this.
Legit. I had an Americano and then I had a latte. Like you don't need that much caffeine, but I do it.
And you don't get like heart palpitations or anxiety or anything like that?
No, I
That's
don't
for
know
the
what's wrong with
weak.
me. I worked at Starbucks and the amount of
Oh,
stuff I drank while working there,
yeah.
I don't know.
As a
I'm
first
built different.
responder and as shift work, like I'll drink like coffee all morning and it like I feel like it's waking me up, but then I'll keep drinking in the afternoon and I'll go to sleep. Like that shit does
I
not
can
keep me
just go to
up.
sleep. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah. I feel like people make themselves believe that they're too caffeinated to sleep.
I think also we're just around the people who have just been overstimulated so that we don't know normal people anymore.
We just have adrenaline burnout. I'm like, well, it doesn't go up or down. I just burnt it out. So fucking
It's
whatever.
gone.
Who has the best entrance music?
It's gotta be like a combination. I'm like going off the music, but also like the ambiance. It's gotta be like Nick Gage.
Ooh, good one.
Because like you hear that bell
Yep.
and you know it's coming, and then the people swarm and they're chanting, and it's like it's so cool.
I feel like the best entrance music, you know what it is based on the noise that like precursors the sound, like the glass breaking before Stone Cold, like that shit. That's what like really gets into people's heads.
I want that so bad.
I
Like
need that.
right? But it's like I can't find one yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. Or like the fucking siren.
Right.
Like
Or like some people they have like they'll say like a little sentence and you're like, yep,
yes, the whiz like
there it
Trisha's was
is.
like her laugh. I wouldn't want my laugh to my sorry, I said laugh, I meant my cackle.
Yeah, right. They'd be like, oh, here comes Allison.
Yeah.
Great. Jesus.
I think we've covered this, but what is your drink of choice? So we said coffee, but what is your alcoholic drink of choice?
I am a wine girl. I love a Malbec. But like if
Mm.
I'm like out like at a bar, so like at home, it's a wine. But if I'm out at a bar, I just go, can you just give me something fun and fruity? Like I always am just trying to try something new. Like in Las Vegas, I like looked at the menu and I went, ooh, this has like rose in it. I'll try it.
Happy Pride Month from Allie Katch. She's just fun and fruity.
Just literally every time, like someone's like, oh, like, do you want a beer? And I go, no, give me something fun. Like, what are you talking about? What are we doing
I
here?
love it. Oh my God. Okay, what's your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
All right. So I have learned, and I'm sure you've heard it or you've experienced it. If I take like too big of a bump, sometimes I tinkle a little bit.
Totally.
You tinkle a little bit. So the first time that ever happened, I said, never again. And I wear a liner
Smart.
every single time I wrestle.
You're better than me.
Well, it has shown from time to time. The liner has like shown and peeked out. I remember one time somebody like I asked them to watch my match and they were like, yeah, whatever. Critique. Also, did you have like a pad? This was a man telling
Oh,
this. He was
no.
like, did you have a pad sticking out? And I was like, no, that it was just my tights. I don't know what you're talking about. I was
Pervert.
mortified that he brought that up to me. I was like, he's very well known on TV guy. And I was just like,
Oh.
no, what?
And
A
I'm
pad?
sure that was just as hard for him to say to you. But to me, that's someone that loves you because they were like, just FYI,
Yeah.
just a little diaper situation, Pat, maybe.
It was so after that, I was like, I started like cutting them in half and trying to like minimize that from ever happening again. It was, oof,
Just embrace it.
bad.
There is not a female wrestler I know that doesn't tinkle every time you
Right.
front bump.
I
It's part of it.
every like almost every time, like if I have a good nasty pile driver,
Ooh, yeah,
little.
sure,
But
sure.
every guy I tell this to, they're like, that's weird. Like that never happens to me.
Well, that's because they've got a D where we have a P and
Like,
ovaries that are playing pinball every time we fucking take a
thank
bump.
you.
So
Thank you.
again, I see you, I hear you. Tell our listeners where they can find you on the interwebs.
All right, y'all. I'm on Instagram as at the Allie Katch, and I'm on Twitter as just Allie Katch, ALLIEKATCH.
Beautiful. Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. I want your ugly, I want your disease.
I want your everything as long as it's free. I
I
did this for
want
a
your
talent show
love.
once,
Did
like
you?
a dance and everything. Like when I say I'm in it, like I'm in it.
I love it. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my God. It's so fun.
Allie Katch is just 100% as adorable as I assumed she would be. And she has some interesting perspectives on both wrestling and spirituality. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, just like you're enjoying every weekly episode when we get Wilde on Wednesdays, where we mix spirituality, witchcraft with female fighters of MMA, professional wrestling, and bare knuckle fighting. I could not and I would not want to do this podcast without my badass punk rock girl band, the Wilde On team. I have my right-hand woman, my queen producer and editor, Rochelle Douris. I have my woman, my queen, who does all things tech that I don't understand, and marketing at that, Madison Golshani, and of course, my sound engineer from Superkick Studios, Matteo Sessa. I love you guys, and thank you. And until next week, stay calm and Wilde on.